Hello everyone, welcome back to Terraria. I'm trying to have a bit of a spree of recording stuff today. Trying to kind of make a bit more of a push to get back on my regular schedule and get over my fear of recording stuff while people are at home. Is a big thing for me. But yeah, we're back with Terraria. It's episode 2. I don't have the foggiest clue what we're going to be doing. Let's get this character going in the spicy pothole of convicts. I love the name randomizer in this. Alright, let's zoom the mini-map out first and foremost. So, let me remind myself, last time around we built these two little blocks of flats here, I guess you could say. So, first things first. I don't have any chests on me, that'd be ideal. So, do we have anyone else that's here? I don't know if anyone else is able to move in at the minute. Could I not see the... Oh no, the NPC villager list is a mod that I had. I miss my mods already. Right. So let's zoom out. What are we looking at? So I'm trying to think about where's the best place to go. The way I am right now, going to the corruption is not a good idea. No, I think I probably put this to normal mode. I can't imagine me doing ASMR of expert mode Terraria, because that just sounds like a death sentence, frankly. And just a surefire way to make it the least relaxing session imaginable. So instead we're going to come into the desert and just pray to everything that we are not going to die here. Which we shouldn't. Generally the desert, at least the surface desert, are generally alright for me. Gonna get a little bit of cactus here, and this could potentially act as our starting armor. I always think picking up some cactus in the early game is a solid thing to do. I need to check the stats on my sword as well, just to see if it's worth getting the cactus sword too. I believe the cactus does 9 damage. So I'm gonna make a regular workbench for now. And from here, I'll make the armor first. There's the helmet, the breastplate, and I can't make the leggings yet. So let me cut this down. And this little thing here, and maybe I'll have enough to do what I need to do. So let's equip all of those, immediately lose my skin that I made, but that's fine. So I'm going to leave that there and I'm going to go over here, hopefully not die to this antlion. It's not shot at me yet, so... Yep. Oh, okay. That was in a quite fortunate position for me, thankfully. So, goal for this episode, if I can get close to the point where I'm set up to face the Eye of Cthulhu. Ooh, I've got Superior as well. Beautiful. If I can get close to the point where I'm able to fight the Eye of Cthulhu, that would be ideal. Is it likely? That's yet to be seen. But do I go back down here? Because I think I died down here in the last episode, but nothing to stop us. Yeah, I did. What killed me? Let's off mind this. We can check. Well, that doesn't really say much. Well, it wasn't that, apparently. If I had to guess, it was probably a cactus. Or maybe, a boulder. Because usually, natural traps end up being the way that I die more often than not when I go caving. So... I've been very lucky to stumble upon this pretty large vein of platinum here. And well, I was lucky to have platinum as this world's high tier starter ore in the first place. I don't want the copper. That can go away. Ow. Okay, alright, I do indeed need to be careful. And remind myself that we're already in a part of the game where everything is apparently going out of its way to kill me. Okay, well, this is going to take a while. I miss my sword mod where everything auto swings. Okay, my timing's not very good here. Oh, Jesus. Very jump scare. Right, a little bit of extra money. Hit you. I was hoping that that'd get you, but it didn't. That's annoying. Okay, so something I'd quite like is I would ideally like to have a boomerang. I'm a big proponent of having one of those early on in the game. Ow. Oh god. Alright, let's be careful. Get some health back. Not really much to do here. Also doesn't seem to really lead to anywhere, so I'm not even going to bother with that. So, the desert is a real sort of mixed bag as far as how much you find yourself being able to get. I usually quite like it at this stage, but if you go in too early, which I think I might have done here, like it is a surefire way to get yourself killed a lot, and not even for that much reward. So I'm just trying to come in here to get a little bit of, or any kind of free little bits of ore that I can. Is that a little bit down there that I could look into? Let's test it out. It's not looking likely. Oh no, never mind. There's potential. So admittedly, it feels quite weird playing vanilla Terraria. I probably said this last time as well, but I got so used to playing with mods that not having any of the usual ones that I'd use, like the vein miner and the NPC checklist, and that's gone well, and the boss guide. Where's my rope? There's. Not having those is already feeling like quite a big loss. I'm getting an okay amount of iron right now. Do I have any recall potions? I do not. That is something that I would quite like to get while I'm down here. At least one. So that I don't need to climb the whole way back out. How many torches do I have? 34. Alright. That is not much. Okay. There's no one down here at least. I'm hearing things fairly close this way though. So I'm going to tunnel for a little bit to see if I can get anything, because generally, I know it sounds counterintuitive to be like, well, if you're not a Terraria player, It sounds counterintuitive to say, hey, I hear enemies, let's go that way. But that is. Oh, hi, golfer. That is probably the most surefire way of getting. You don't have anything I can really use here. Of finding little cave openings that will actually have stuff in them, which, you know, is fairly useful. So, if I get a set of iron armor this episode, that puts me in fairly decent stead, I think. I'm going to dig down here. If you want to go down there, it is your funeral, buddy. No, he's not about that life. Okay. Let's see. Maybe that just happened to kill something. It is very nice indeed. Okay. The one thing I do not want to die to is one of those. Ooh, life crystal. The first one of the series, hell yeah. I'm unfortunately not bothered to help out the golfer, because, what is... You're doing that? What? Ow! I was trying to jump, and I was not in the right spot. That's unfortunate. He can kind of hold his own, actually. I'm surprised. Right, give me that. Life crystal gets me some extra health. Some extra, like, max health. There's a recall potion. This is going quite well indeed, actually. And it is kind of worth breaking all of these right now, just because you want to get as much money as you can. Okay, let's go that way. Couple more torches. I'm probably going to dig down there as well. Okay, I would ideally like for you not to do that. I was just on the verge of being able to take another potion. I'm not too mad about that though. Money is nice to have. It's not hugely important at this stage. I mean, what I need really is just resources, and annoyingly, I didn't get any chests still. That is a thing I would very much like to have. But you get back here, it's night time. Harry Madison. I don't know if that's the name of a actual golfer or something, but let's do myself a favor and put let's put a regular torch out here. And another one here. I do need to illuminate things for myself a bit. Why? Why you? Let's cut down a couple of these trees so I can make some more. So I'm not looking to make any more houses this episode, because, well, realistically it's probably not that fun viewing, and also, you know, I'd like to, you know, get on with the proper stuff, the fighting and the exploring and all that stuff. Let's get another one of these while I'm at it. Not that I will be able to use mana for a bit, but it's nice to have it. You dropped a torch, which was very nice, but let's make some more. Not very many, but it'll do. So let's start lighting the way over this way. Just can't remember if it's the case that torches reduce spawn rate, or whether it's literally just a aesthetic thing, just so I can see easier. But either way, that is certainly not a bad positives that come out of that. And one more hit on you. No, yeah. Could do with seeing a couple more slimes around. And fewer of you zombies, because yous are just annoying me. Unless you were kind enough to give me a zombie arm. Because that is pretty solid starter sword, actually. So I'm not even going to bother going down there, I don't think. I'm just going to keep moving on. Yeah, I need some gel. Yeah, some gel would be ideal right now. Just to make some more torches with to keep this going if I'm going to be exploring over this way. I would not like it to be interrupted by a million zombies. This should at least get us out of the desert, I hope. Ooh, we're going right into a jungle, which is not particularly ideal. But, I mean, the jungle is slightly less dangerous, I would say, than the corruption is at this point. So, you know what? I will take it. Let's get going. And we get greeted by a slime to begin with, which is what I needed. So I might as well say this again. I said this while I was recording my Hades video earlier on, but I acknowledge that not everyone that comes to my channel will be doing so to watch all of my types of videos. You might just be doing it to watch, you know, just to watch your favorite game, which I completely appreciate and respect. If you are not coming over here from my Hades video, then little kind of life update, just as a little thing to sort of break a bit of the monotony of what's going on at the minute. Because admittedly, at the start of the game, until you have a proper system going, can be a little bit boring at times. I can acknowledge that. So I have been spending the past few months trying to sort out, firstly, a recording session for my voice acting demo reel, which I did in, I want to say, February. Then getting my demos edited, which I spent that month doing, and then eventually going around on various websites, applying for a bunch of different roles, hoping that eventually my first proper casting, well, I was cast in a thing, like a YouTube animation that seems to have been pulled. Like, production just seems to have stopped, unfortunately. Which really sucks, because it wasn't a big role that I had in that, but it was one that I was looking forward to seeing how it worked out, because it was a thing that was pretty far outside my comfort zone. So I was going to be like, well, if this works for me, then I'll have a load of confidence to do basically anything from here on out. And that didn't happen. But I was just just on Wednesday, I think it was, finally able to land my first professional gig, in a radio play that is being made called "What's Wrong with William," which I was going to give a brief bit of backstory into. I'm not under NDA, but just for the sake of hearing and enjoying the full thing when it comes out, I figured, well, it'd be best to leave everything undisclosed, so that I can, so that you guys can go in there blind as far as the story and also as far as the character that I'll be playing. I'm going to leave it as a surprise. I said it on in my Hades video which character I am, I believe. I don't think I said it by name. So hopefully when that comes out, you guys will be able to listen and try and figure out who I am. I admittedly haven't heard the other guys involved yet, so I don't know how obvious it will be. But I've been having a really good time recording it. I'm also looking to, in the next couple of days, get a couple things set up for my recording setup here to facilitate recording some more graphic, intense voiceover scenes, or scene voiceovers, which may or may not be relevant for this project. So I have a bunch of sound panels that I've gotten in, and I'm looking to make a trip to like a hardware store to get some like boards to pin up around my desk, which will hopefully anything interesting out of that? I don't think I did. Yeah, which will hopefully allow me to sort of stick up these panels around the side of my desk as opposed to like attaching them to the walls, which might not look that good. And yeah, then at that point, hopefully I'll be able to go a bit more all out on my voiceovers, both for YouTube and for any projects that I'm casting. So I'll be able to do everything entirely from home, as opposed to what I'm kind of expecting to do for this project while I get everything sorted out, which is heading off into a professional studio to record the more intense stuff, which thankfully, as a result of me being able to go to one to record my demo reels, I now know that I am capable of doing, hence I signed up for the job. Not only as far as getting access to a booth, but also being able to fully kind of unleash and, you know, as much as I often make a big hoopla about, oh, screaming and yelling and voice acting isn't that cool or impressive, because I mean anyone can do it. So I still kind of stick to that a bit. You know, it's cool to know that you can do it well, I guess, and that you are able to pull it out when it's when you are called on for it as a brand new voiceover talent. Ow! I did not think you'd be able to reach this far. And stretch. Yeah. Oh, I have a spear. I can do this instead. Oh, it doesn't do much damage though. Okay, I'll do. Bloody hell, I'm getting a lot of new people in. Oh, yeah. So vines are going to be important for making jungle gear, which if I am going to go down a mage route, which is what I'm looking to, ow. Oh no, I said I was going to be going for piss. I don't like spiked jungle slimes. Yeah, I've just reminded myself that I'm due to be going down a ranger route because that gives you a stealth option. I don't know, I haven't really made up my mind up yet fully, but Do I seriously only have one chest? Right, well, let me favorite everything that I want to keep here. On you, on these. Outside of that, I think everything else can go in here. For some reason, those didn't want to go. Let's make another one of you. And let's keep going. So I have the nursing, which is the most important thing right now. So let's go say hi to the merchant real quick. How much is an anvil? Just about enough for me to be able to buy one. It's probably worth doing. I'll put that in your room as well. So the other thing I should be doing is putting down a workbench there, making a furnace, and smelting these down. There we go. So now, if I was to get the wood out of here as well, I come over here and I see what upgrades I can make. So 49 iron bars. How much does it take to make a full set of iron armor? 15. That's 40, 60 altogether. Okay. I'm not a million miles off, so I'm probably going to keep all my iron and save up for this. In that case, a better sword is the first thing I would like, because 11 is okay, but it is slow. And yeah, let's go for this. And it's sharp, so that is 18 damage, which is brilliant. I'm also then going to get a better pickaxe, just because 35% to 50% is actually quite a significant upgrade in speed. So let's stick all the stuff in there, then I will sort. And usually I will go out my way to get loads of chests to be able to organize my stuff, but unfortunately we don't have that luxury at the minute. So yes, this is already much better. It swings way quicker and will do a bunch more damage, so I'll be a bit more equipped to be able to take some stuff on while I'm down there. So that'll be my goal, will be to get a full set of iron armor, maybe see if I can loot a few chests down there, see if I can get somewhere towards 200 health would be ideal. I think if I was to get a semi-decent ranged weapon, whether that be, and I'm counting boomerangs in that, if I was to get a full set of, some metal armor or jungle armor, if that turns out that's able to be a thing. I highly doubt it though. About 200 health. At that point, I think I will be okay to fight the eye. Because generally, especially for someone who, yeah, that feels good. Especially for someone who has played this game a lot, you are then able to know your kind of limitations and what it takes to defeat most of the bosses in the game. But I mean, especially the early ones, because I mean, I've done it 1,000 times at this point, it feels like. So let's get motoring. So in order to make the jungle armor, I've alluded to it a few times, I might as well elaborate. In order to make jungle armor, you need, I believe, jungle spores and I want to say jungle spores and vines. I'm not actually fully sure about that. It might be stingers instead of vines, but okay, there's a big underground tree here, which means there will be a chest. Do I need any more stone? I don't think I do. There's a tunnel in here. Get a bit more wood to make more torches as well as a good little bonus. Yes, that's a lot more movement speed. So that's 13% more altogether, which is very, very helpful, as well as another chest on top of that. I should hopefully be able to get a good bit of gel off of these slimes. And then we'll be able to make some more torches. There we go. And we are in business again. Oh, well, that's... Right then. Oh, back we go again. So ideally, I think what we need is, well, the sooner I can get to the dungeon, the better. Because that will give me the cobalt shield, which gives me knockback immunity, which is extremely handy. Especially when I don't yet have any like jump boost and flying accessories yet, like the rocket boots or the or wings. When I get either of those two things, everything will be alright. But up until that point, it's going to be real rough. Or the lucky horseshoe. Actually, it will be a big help as well. The lucky horseshoe would be a fitting replacement for the cobalt shield right now, just to stop the fall damage. Which, you know, if I get knocked off the surface and I can't take damage from the fall damage, then that doesn't really matter. So yeah, that'll be a little while down the line though. Usually I end up defeating the eye and the world evil boss, whether that be the Brain of Cthulhu, or in case of the corruption in this world, it'll be the Eater of Worlds. Usually I'll beat both of them before I look for floating islands, and certainly before I head to fight Skeletron to be able to get to the dungeon to pick up the cobalt shield, which is realistically the biggest sort of step forward that you take in pre-hard mode, is when you beat Skeletron and get into the dungeon, because then at that point a bunch of upgrades become available to you. You are then able to get the Muramasa, which is a very good pre-hard mode sword. It's one that you need in order to be able to craft the Knight's Edge, which is the best pre-hard mode sword, which you then use to make one of the best swords in the game much later down the line. Oh, I didn't even notice this was here. I should have made use of that. Because this will be another... What's that? This will be another 3-4 bars worth? 3. Alright, let's be very careful now. Let's not go around being hasty. I got charged in here and got all excited before just because I was able to hold my own for a little bit. But now let's calm things down a bit. Take whatever little bits of resources I can and get moving before I overstay my welcome, get hit by something and die again. Okay, so there's the hive right there, which is where the other, one of the other pre-hard mode bosses spawns from. Queen Bee, which I really like. I'm a big fan of Queen Bee. Both the music artist and the Terraria boss, for what it's worth. And ow, I'm ready for that. Yeah, that already feels much better. Trying to get the jump on me. There we go. And another vine. Beautiful. Yeah, I kind of doubt that the jungle armor is going to be vines. I don't know why, actually. Alright. Might as well keep this salt on me in case I end up getting an extractinator, which is, I was going to say probably the worst name in this game. However, it might be a Dr. Doofenshmirtz reference, and at that point, I love it. So, let's see. Okay. The drop's not that far, so let's heal and get back to swinging. Oh, no way. Okay. Ow. God damn it, man. Yeah, maybe I should take this as a sign from the universe that I'm not ready at this point. You know? So I do have another chest, so I can just deposit everything that I don't need in there. So I'm not overly worried about organization at this point. It's a bit frustrating though, because I could go into the snow biome and try and dig down in there maybe. I didn't pick up any bombs, did I? I won't have done. We've got 10. It's better than nothing. So let's go over this way. What I might also do is stop off at the merchant and grab some more torches. Might as well use up all the money that I have on those right now, which is not a lot. Right, there we go. Let's get going. So I've already died, what is that, 4 times this video? 3? I sure hope you guys are having more fun than I. Which makes it sound like I'm hating this. I'm not. It's always a nice time. How did I die here? Zombies, presumably? Or a demon eye? Yeah. That would have been like my first or second night. It's always a good time. You can just kind of turn your brain off. I have played this game just before bed multiple times because due to it being so kind of relaxing, it kind of puts you in a trance state sometimes of like, where you're just kind of going through the world, doing things, and it can make you very tired. So, I don't know, man. I didn't even think about that. Maybe it'll have a similar effect on you guys watching this, which would be double job done for me at that point. So, that'd be ideal. Might be my cue to make more of these. If I don't end up putting myself to sleep by talking like this over the top of especially early game Terraria gameplay. Like, basically everywhere you go in hard mode, there's some danger around the corner, so God, I've died a lot in this world, eh? There we go, little blizzard. Just turned daytime. Kind of annoying. When we get to hard mode, I'll be begging for blizzards. I don't really need them right now. Right, what I'm probably going to do is I think I'm going to tunnel down in here. And I'm just going to dig straight down. Because it's not that hard to get your way out if you just kind of go downwards. And it's not like Minecraft where there's a risk of there just being lava anywhere. You need to go down to a very specific level in the world to be able to just happen to run into lava. So I would use my bombs if I had like a grappling hook or something, but I currently do not, and I didn't quite stop to think that I needed other stuff in order to be able to kind of not blow myself up. As much as I would still quite like to use them, just to speed up this process a bit. Because I'm kind of just digging down just to see if I can find anything of use. Because generally I think the snow caves are a fairly good resource mine early in the game. But that depends on if you actually find them at all. And this doesn't seem like a very giving snow biome. But we'll keep being vigilant, we'll keep going. Let's buy a little bit of tungsten, as well collect that. I don't want copper, that's just going to make my life miserable. I always keep thinking that I'm seeing like a little light off in the distance to say, oh, there's a cave coming up. Oh, we've got the furry in now. Diana, I don't know what name that is. Again, I thought I saw like a bat flying into like a wall right there. I think I'm losing my mind. What I could really do with right now is there are little fairies that pop up. There's blue ones, green ones, and yellow ones, I believe. No, not yellow. Blue ones, green ones, and pink ones. And I believe that the pink ones definitely lead you to to valuables, like to ores and treasure chests. The blue ones and the green ones, I'm not entirely sure about. I think the green ones might be to like NPCs that are down there. Well, I could be wrong. See, as you can hear, I'm already getting myself tired. Okay, what I think I might do in this case is potential. Okay, I need one of those. Might as well pick up that amethyst just because why not? If I get 15 of them, I can make a grappling hook out of it, which is not a good one, but it will be a great help just to have one. This is, I definitely think, one of the weaker songs from this soundtrack, which I think is a legendary. Like top tier video game soundtrack. But yeah, stuff like this, especially because they're on fairly short loops, can make them getting fairly tiring at times. These songs. Just trying to think of other examples like this one. I think the underground jungle can start to feel like that after a while. I think that's less common though. Well, I think this music is nice. Yeah, it's I wouldn't say it necessarily does the greatest job at conveying like being underground and the potential dangers that come with it. Unless its job is just to kind of lull you into a false sense of security. Ow, I thought I was out of range. Damn it, now I've got the traveling merchant. And he usually sells good stuff, but I have like no money, so I wouldn't be able to buy it anyway. Never mind. So usually in my worlds I end up building a house out of snow and ice at some point. I don't know if that will happen in this one. I was originally planning for it not to, but at this rate, I wouldn't be overly surprised if it did, because I'm picking up a lot of it now. There we go. So this is the one time where I will say generally digging down is not a good idea in Terraria, because this kind of ice will break very easily if you land on it from like any height at all. So it makes it very dangerous to drop down on it just like that. And it will just keep going and going and going. Sometimes you can get some use out of it like that, but in general it's a big risk. Great, the painter, another absolutely useless NPC like the golfer. You always end up with it. I mean, I guess that is kind of how it works. You start off with the bad stuff and then you get better as you go along. Ooh, there's a minecart track. Good. This entire video won't have been pointless. Because we can go along here. Let's go left first. See what we can find. We'll take it nice and slow. Hello, nymph. Ah, I didn't really want you to go away. So nymphs are... well, not the rarest enemy in the game, but... ooh. I actually don't think they're very close to being the rarest enemy in the game. They're pretty rare though. However, they drop what I think used to be the rarest item in the game, the nymph banner. I don't know if it... there's a part of me a strong part of me that thinks that something overtook that, but I can't think of what that was off the top of my head. So it's worth killing one when you can. Just to, they also drop metal detectors, which allows you to. There'll be a thing that pops up under the map here that tells you there is this ore nearby, or there is a treasure chest nearby, or that kind of thing. Another one, wow. There we go. That's 180 health. We are motoring through that. Ow. Okay, right, you can go away, mate. Yeah, I can deal with you just fine. Ten more seconds of that. I'm trying to jump up here and it's just not happening. Anyway. Pop some of this down. It's an underrated commodity. Is rope. It's something that you always need more of in the early game. That'll be a boulder trap. Okay, I do not like any of what's going on here. Oh, great. Yeah, let's head back up. There's an emerald there. That is worth getting. Okay, so emeralds are, I believe, the third best gemstone out of the ones that you can get here at this stage of the game. I believe diamonds are the best, and then rubies, and then emeralds. I think that's how it works. Well, there might be another one in the middle. I'm fairly certain that's not the case. Oops. So I don't know if it's still a thing. I imagine it is. That it used to be the case where if you... Oh yeah. If you put down the wrong type of torch in an area, it would give you like bad luck or something like that. Like if you were to put down desert torches in the snow biome, as I'm doing now. But I've not really seen anything coming of this, like any status effect or anything, so I don't actually know. Oh, come on now. Right. I have no idea how far away I am from that. There we go. Told you, rope gets you out of a whole bunch of situations. Snow chest, those can sometimes have some decent stuff in them. Yeah. Ice blade, that's a nice thing to have because that will be our first projectile melee weapon. As in, it's also our first fully automatic sword, which I did not realise. Ooh, diamonds. Which, to all the Minecraft fans, unfortunately, are nowhere near as good in this game as they are in Minecraft. They're not used for very much. Yeah, let's go on just slowly. Here's some platinum up there. Yeah, let's get in there. Let's mine this stuff up as well. So I don't necessarily know what my plan with the platinum is. And I guess to build a pickaxe at first. Or to craft one. Okay, I need to remind myself that I don't need to spam click my mouse anymore. That is very good for the video. Okay. Oh wow, there's a whole load of this here. Looks like there should probably be some TNT on this. Sometimes when you're down in caves, you will randomly find big patches of ore with TNT and a with dynamite and a detonator on it. And this does not, but it gives off the feeling of something that should. Alright, just check the time. We are getting very close to an hour now, so what I think I'm going to do is once I've explored this minecart track back the other way, I think I'm going to head back to the surface with one of my recall potions and make this set of iron armor, which we should be able to do after all of that, and then probably call the episode there. And then ideally, for the next episode, we should be on the road to being able to fight the Eye of Cthulhu, get our first boss out of the way. Let's see, I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. The tungsten there, I'm going to pass up on it for the moment. Not I particularly want to, it's just I would like to get a bit of a move on, see if there's anything around. Which it's not seeming like there is for the time being. I see you down there. Yeah, I can play that game. I can shoot ice at you as well. Yeah, I told you. What I would love to find right about now is one of these. I was just about to say an underground house, which we just happen to have stumbled upon. Go. So I'm going to take this loom to help us craft a bed later on, which will be helpful. Which, I guess isn't something that we hugely need, but it's just nice to have it. It's something, well, actually, it's something that passes the day a bit quicker. So if you want it to go from night to day or the other way around, then you can use that. So let's get all of this. Is another big old vein. And we'll loot whatever's in here. Blizzard in a bottle is a beautiful thing to pick up. Lovely. Okay, this has actually been a much more successful trip than I thought it would have been. I don't think that's going to lead us to much over that way. Doesn't really look like there's anything there. We came from up that way, didn't we? Said I was going to go get that iron though, didn't I? Yeah, I hear ya. It's not fair that you don't break that stuff. It's just me, and that sucks. Okay, let's get the rest of this. Because we are looking at needing about 30 iron, and we have long surpassed that. So get one little bit of platinum that's up here. And from there, let's do this. Return back. I'm going to pop everything in those first. And I'm also going to get my anvil from up here and bring it down. I'm sorry, buddy. What's your name? Humphrey. I would like to keep it with my other stuff. It actually makes more sense to put it alongside my other crafting stations and then put the chests over here. And then I'll just put all the stuff that I don't particularly need for the time being in here. Lovely. Right. So in that case, let's do this. Iron, tungsten, platinum bars. Right. Let's go over here and sort these out into bars first. Got 13 tungsten bars. Let's go and sort out my iron ones. Just 93 total iron bars, hell yeah. And 23 total platinum bars. Now, as I said, we are going to sort this out, because that gets us up to from 4 to 10 armor. And we lose the little bit of spike effect that we had before, where if someone hits us and they take damage, we lose that, but that's not a huge concern. Next thing, let's make sure we have some wood in our inventory so we can make tools if we want. So I would like to make this platinum bow, I think, because that'll be very useful when it comes time for the Eye Cthulhu. I'm also going to get rid of that spear because now that I've got the ice blade, I don't really need you, unfortunately. And then I can make you, which I think 50, 59%. Oh yeah, you can mine, oh no, you can mine meteorite as well. Doesn't actually seem that much of a difference or enough to upgrade that. So I'm actually going to get the axe instead, because that's just a bigger upgrade. And it means that it won't feel like I'd have wasted the tungsten that I used on that pickaxe. So let's see, is there anything else that's remotely interesting here? A hammer will also be useful. So we'll probably get a tungsten hammer. No, I'll get an iron one. I'll be conservative. Not in that way. Sorry, comments. So yeah, I'll do that. I will dump this stuff in this one, I think. Sort you. Sort you. I might organize these off camera, we'll see. But for the time being, I think this is where we leave it for this episode. Although what I am going to do is I'm going to come up here. I'm actually going to buy a bunch of these. And I'll sell those because I don't really care. And there we go. So it's now turning daytime. And yeah, we've got our armor. We've got 2 new accessory slots, 2 actually pretty decent pre-hard mode accessories. Now I can double jump, which I did not really showcase before, but it's extremely nice to have. It makes me a bit quicker as well, as you can see. We've got a new sword, we've got a new bow, we've got a new pickaxe, axe, hammer. We've got methods to return home when needed. We have explored a decent chunk of the overworld now. We've done a bit of underground exploring in the snow and desert biomes, and a little bit in the jungle as well. I'm going to head back here next episode, since now I have a bit more armor and a bit more of an easier time getting around. The ideal scenario next episode will be to maybe upgrade the armor to another step up. We'll see about that. I'm not overly bothered if that doesn't happen. Find a suspicious looking eye, or just have the Eye of Cthulhu spawn and fight that. Ideally, get a gravitation potion so that I can fly up in the air and find floating islands and make a start towards getting stuff going over here to fight the Eater of Worlds, and then from there head further out that way to the dungeon to fight Skeletron, probably in 2, maybe 3 episodes' time. There's a little outline for what I'm expecting to have happen over these next few episodes. So thank you guys very, very much for sticking around and watching and listening. Hopefully it was nice and relaxing as always. And yeah, I hope to see you guys very, very soon. Have a good night, everyone.